Is it somebody right on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I just want to hip hop and jump right into today's video because I'm quite curious, and it's peculiar to me that out of all the people at the Met Gala, out of all the people to boycott, out of all the years, they choose Jeff Bezos, and it's in New York, and we know what's going on over there in New York with Mudami and tax the white and tax the rich and all that. So what's going on over there? It's kind of, life goes on, and they're still having the Met Gala in New York. New York Fashion Week and stuff like that. New York is still going to continue to live and do its thing. But all that aside, what is quite interesting is that this year, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are, I didn't do a deep dive on Lauren Sanchez, but both of them are sponsors for the Met Gala this year. And did New York perform for that? Allegedly, there was, I think the day before, this also had to deal with Jeff Bezos, but this also had to deal with Elon Musk too. It's just billionaires, period. The New York citizens are fed up with it. And so because of that, they wanted to protest against the Met Gala, but more particularly Jeff Bezos and his billionaire status. And don't worry, there's a whole lot I got to deep dive for you on this one because I'm quite curious why Jeff Bezos is being boycotted, that they want to put stage bottles. These aren't like legit pee bottles, but they put water and yellow food coloring to make it look like pee to show that they're pissing on the rich and pissing on the Met Gala and what it represents. So because of that, that's how protesters feel about Jeff Bezos in particular, that they had to go to this extreme out of all years, right? Not only that, so Jeff Bezos has that on his list, but also a lot of A-list celebrities aren't attending the Met Gala. Now, you guys can tell me because, articles are going to make it seem like a whole lot of people are not attending just because Jeff Bezos, and then a lot of other articles are going to say, well, actually these such and such artists or celebrities couldn't come because of X, Y, and Z, and it's totally not because Jeff Bezos has just recently been announced as a sponsor, so they're suddenly dropping out after months of talking about and prepping for it. I don't know, because Meryl Streep isn't going to be there, but I heard she's never there anyway, so you see the sketchiness right there. But apparently, allegedly, Zendaya is not going, and her long-term stylist, I forget his name, but it's kind of weird for him to just have the spotlight to his own self. But listen, anyway, so all those struggle things that are going on with the Met Gala, and that's just a few names to name out there of people who did not choose to attend. So that gives you a little bit of taste of what how the Met Gala is going. Now, as of the day of this recording, the Met Gala is currently going on, so I won't know the results and how the turnout has turned out until the next day or after this video is over. So I'm really ready to just want to hop in right now during this moment to see what's going on. Because Jeff Bezos, if you're unaware, is the owner, the creator, the CEO of Amazon. Yes, the Amazon Prime that everybody pretty much relies on these days. Yeah, the Amazon. Yeah, that's Jeff Bezos. And that's exactly how people are behaving for Jeff Bezos. When just last year, literally just last summer, we was all hyped up for the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding. So we flip-flopped real hard within the last 12 months. And I'm trying to figure out where is the sudden discourse coming from. But however, let's just do a little deep dive on who Jeff Bezos is and why he's so important, because probably up until his wedding last year, I didn't know who Jeff Bezos was, honestly. And I was a very avid user of Amazon. So because of that, you know how that is. I knew the list of everybody else, like the Facebook creator and stuff like that, and like Bill Gates and like all that. But like owner of Amazon, nope, didn't know that a year ago. So because of that, he is getting more prominently known out there. More people are wanting to talk about him, but it's not for good reasons, and it's not about his and it's not to promote his company either. However, who is Jeff Bezos? Well, he has a background. He is an electrical engineer, but also has a background in computer science. Some other ventures that he did allegedly was Blue Origin. I didn't know that, which was a space tech company, but also the Washington Post. Question mark. Interesting, the long arms and reach that Jeff Bezos has, and we are concerned about Elon Musk. But anyway, how did he become famous? Well, in 1994, he started Amazon. Yes, Amazon has been around that long. I cannot even believe it. And then towards the 2000s, beginning of 2000s, it expanded into the everything store where they get to sell electronics and clothing and stuff like that. So therefore, this was a relentless focus on long-term growth over short-term profit. So because of that, this built massive infrastructure for warehousing, logistic networks, and cloud computing, which we'll get to later about that too. You remember last year when a whole lot of servers and websites and apps were crashing down because they were on the Amazon servers and Amazon was crashing out. You can't make this stuff up. So because of that, as we continue going on, why was just Bezos once loved at one point? Well, the late 2000s/2010s was his peak. His peak was about a decade ago, guys. I can't even believe that's mind-boggling to me. But he was known as the visionary founder. He was consumer obsessed, so therefore customer obsessed. So therefore, it's all about the service. That's exactly what made Amazon so great. They're going to cater to you. All the things he started adding: Prime, same day delivery, order overnight, put it in your garage. All these different things that visionary, all these things that he had going on. And then he was the builder of the future, which was like all those different things: retail, logistics, everything. You can get everything off of this. Amazon was literally the place you go to get anything and everything. During the pandemic, Prime delivery, airways with drones, come on now. Amazon was the place to go still, even in the 2020s, even shortly after its peak. But the thing was, he had the same come up story as the Facebook creator of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, starting off in the garage. And then he's a self-made person, made this at the garage and living out and all this. The story of started from the bottom, now we're here. So of course anybody's going to love that kind of success story. But you got to remember, that was the 1990s. Are people still doing that stuff out of their garage today? I mean, probably yes, metaphorically, but still. Just think about how this was the very beginning days of the internet, and how he still, A, continued that success, but B, it is starting to become a little bit more money hungry. He's a billionaire. He's trying to aim for a trillionaire, but hey. So why are some things why is he being criticized now? For labor and work conditions, for extreme wealth inequity. Apparently he has up to $250 billion. I think probably him and Elon Musk run neck and neck on who is the richest man alive. So because of that, you got to think about that. He's on a top tier, probably feeling like God status. Nothing can touch him. He probably feels like, I forget that king's name in like folklore story where like, what's his name? King Midas, where everything he touched turned to gold. I bet that's how Jeff Bezos is literally feeling. So because of that, yet all of a sudden he's having And I know as an avid user, well, me and my mom, avid users of Amazon, how they're starting to mess up on deliveries, how they don't even take things out as soon as you put in, like you place the order, but then they don't take all the money out at once. So because of that, and then let's not forget that there was a whole point in period where there was mass layoffs because they were trying to bring in automated technology, AI, to do the job that humans were doing. So because of that, there was a whole mass layoff. A lot of people were losing their jobs, and we went a lot more technology based and a whole lot less human based. So because of that, that's where the whole working labors could probably start coming in, where you just start feeling like you're being worked. Basically, the way I hear it from Amazon employees, the people that actually work there, yeah, I guess it's a decent pay, but just in the sense of they basically work you like a mule. It's like a sweat. I'm not trying to say it's a sweatshop. That's the way it feels like. I feel like it's modern day slavery up there in the Amazon facilities and what they do. So I can completely understand where the hate is coming from. But all of that to bring you guys up to date. This is exactly why Jeff Bezos is getting boycotted for being a sponsor for the Met Gala that happened this year tonight as of this recording. So because of that, I just want to pull some cards to figure out, has Jeff Bezos lost the plot? Okay, I'm joking. No, I really want to, in all seriousness, to translate that, I want to know, has Jeff Bezos lost touch of consumer based and has became money based? Has he lost sight of who Jeff Bezos originally was? That's what I want to know. Has Jeff Bezos changed has Jeff Bezos fundamentally changed as a human and an individual once he became a huge mega billionaire? Whew. Hope you enjoyed that nice eulogy background deep dive, because I had to unpack that one with you guys because it was just starting to make sense. Oh, and also just talking about the internet just real quick. Yes, the Amazon cloud service. Remember last year when all that technology was going down? Wow. I actually asked AI. This was all information I found off of AI. But this is what I found out, that apparently 3.4%. Now, you might think that's just a little bit, but that's actually like a really lot when you think about it. Apparently, what major companies uses it? Hold up. Like Netflix, Reddit, and Twitch. Twitch and Netflix alone run off of Amazon. So just think about how many people, and that's 3.4% of the internet. We're talking just naming those three and maybe a couple of more. So just think how big and how wide 3.4% is hitting with the Netflix users and the Twitch users. I'm just saying, just think about that right there. And that's not just here in America, that's global. So that's millions of people being affected. So because of that, that's the power that Amazon is holding over us. Jeff Bezos here. Remember, just think the kind of power that Jeff Bezos got underneath him. Okay, so because of that, the Amazon clouding services, it empowers a good wealth. It says it shares its clouding service. So that's about 30 to 40% of all of global services right there, sharing a server with Amazon. That's nearly half of the global population relying off of Amazon in that retrospect. But AI didn't want to tell me that. It said 3.4% if you want to talk about solely relying on Amazon, not the shared and all the little webs and tentacles that Amazon has its fingers and toes in. So because of that, Jeff Bezos, who are you? This justice card came up, and I'm actually quite surprised. So I'm going to pull a block card because we do know there is some hard opposition up against him right now at this very moment. We have the Five of Pentacles. Are we surprised? So let's see what's at the foundation. The Queen of Pentacles. I'm not surprised. The Five of Swords in the past. I'm not surprised. In his head, I see the Knight of Cups. Quite curious, actually. But let's see what the future has. The Eight of Wands. I'm laughing because this is really funny. The funny thing is that Jeff Bezos came out as the only major arcana card, but all the cards around him are mundane, minor arcana cards. So this is just a phase, a period for him, something that he's just going to easily brush and roll off his shoulders. And the future card with the Eight of Wands showed me exactly that whatever this hate, that whatever this boycott is, he's just going to keep doing it. It's like kicking rocks at this point for Jeff Bezos. He's so unfazed, so unbothered. But the Justice card, you have to wonder what justice represents here in particular for Jeff Bezos when it comes to who is he as an individual. Maybe this could be somebody who was once just in their personality. He still could be. He could really have the greater good out there looking for the people questionably. And the only reason why I say that's questionable because the block card is that Five of Pentacles, where right now it's looking a bit struggling, a bit desperate, a bit chaotic, because I see two fives. We have the Five of Swords and then the Five of Pentacles. Both represent friction, both represent conflict, both represent a sense of fighting, and that's both mentally in the airwaves, on the internet, on the media, and through the finances, through the networks, the neural communication networks that he has just through his online website and everything that Amazon represents. So that Five of Pentacles represents that when it comes to his current business, it is looking a bit questionable, a bit scary, a bit desolate, a bit going awry, look a little bit abandoned, like he's not working on it, he's not doing anything, but really behind the scenes, he's trying to make some sort of sense of change. And sometimes when you're like making changes, sometimes it's going to be rough and it's going to be tough, but I don't see anything here that symbolizes a pentacle. A new beginning or symbolizing a new beginning, because everything here is towards the middle or end of the cycle. But here at his foundation is the Queen of Pentacles. Am I surprised? No. Queen of Pentacles foundation. The Pentacles, like I said, his livelihood, his livestock, his company best, basically his baby Amazon is his foundation, is his livelihood, who he is and identifies as. I bet, all jokes aside, I bet, if he had, a name tag, it would be like, hello, my name's Amazon, because that's, how engrossed. He's surprisingly into Amazon, because you would think if he's that invested and he's so hands-on, or supposedly that hands-on, with the growth and development and leadership where the company is going, there wouldn't be this much backlash. But like I said, when there's change, there's always going to be friction, because nobody likes change, and because technology is still questionable and we still cannot rely on AI like that. He's that visionary, sometimes being a little too forward thinking ahead of your time is not detrimental, but does it work out always in your favor when you're the first, when you're trying to do something ahead of everybody else? Because that's just who you are. That's just what you've been doing. That's just what he's always trying to do. He sees the vision. He's like, all right, let me hop on it now. Let me do it now. Let me work out the kinks my own self before anybody else can perfect it, because Amazon is always ahead of everybody. So because of that, it both sucks and benefits to be the trendsetter at times. And that's exactly what Jeff Bezos is feeling right now in this particular moment. However, like I said, there's even a video, quite peculiar. The lengths that they are going to smear campaign Jeff Bezos. They brought out a 72-year-old woman talking about how she is working and scrapping for them dollars, and she would really love some compensation. And Jeff Bezos, if you really for the people, why don't you help out the elderly who is using you? See, you see the the vision that he has, even the elderly can work for him. But then the back counterfeit is that even though the elderly is working for him, also at the same time the elderly are still struggling just like everybody else out here. So really, what's the point in having these jobs and positions open if they're just still going to be struggling, and it's going to be like a whole lot of hoopla and hoops to jump through? Like I said, the good and the bad, when you're the trendsetter, when you're the first to try to hop on something before it's perfected, especially in the day of AI. But because AI keeps jumping and evolving like this, you never know. It could be like this one day, and then like in 2 days, AI has exploded and done something hugely amazing that revolutionary changes our lives. And then like the lives that we had like 48 hours ago is no longer going to be the same. That's how quickly technology is blooming. So because of that, you gotta hop on quick. It's almost like working with stocks. That's how tricky it is with AI. And we see here in the past, representing where all this friction came from, we have the Five of Wands. And like I said, the Five of Wands is always the prop. But honestly, in particularly with this particular Five of Wands, all the swords are pointed directly at the fairy or at the person who is being read on. So in this case, I feel like all those words are pointing at Jeff, and he knows they're facing him and pointing at him, but he also knows the reasons why they're there, because first off, is this supposed to be a butterfly or dragon? First off, this is a dragonfly. And dragonflies are actually really more symbolic than I realized. But the fact that this is a dragonfly here and it is being targeted, usually it's like the underdog. You underestimate the dragonfly and what it represents. It's slipping my mind at this very moment. I didn't think I was actually going to need that information, but it just happened to dawn on me while talking about it. So if you look up the spiritual meaning of a dragonfly, you're going to be actually genuinely shocked what it represents. I think it's actually more beautiful than a butterfly in that particular sense. But because of that, that's why I feel like it's the underdog in that sense. And that's exactly what Jeff Bezos was always coming up against him. And even in this sense, I'm going to reword it. Instead of being the underdog, like I said, when you're always trying to be the trendsetter and being ahead of the game and trying to be ahead of the movement, it backfires on you. So that's exactly what this Five of Wands symbolizes, that instead of being the underdog, he is the one that purposely puts himself out there on the stake to be a target for everybody to point their swords, point their fingers at, because he's willing to be different, to be bold, to do something against the grain, against the norm, against the frequency, because he sees the wider picture in that sense. Now listen, I'm not trying to sing the praises of Jeff Bezos, all right? This is just the way the cards are coming out. Everything I say is allegedly, but I was just curious because I'm wondering, where is all this hate suddenly coming from within the last 12 months? I mean, it's been coming down the pipeline clearly, but how has it gotten this bad that they're boycotting him at the Met Gala? Whew. And we have here the Knight of Cups. Which is quite interesting, because this is in his mind. It's like his heart and his mind are like connected, not literally connected, well, metaphorically connected. Yes, he has many things that he wants to offer. I mean, yes, he's a billionaire. Maybe he could be a bit stingy. You know, we've done a reading here with Lauren Sanchez, and even she's a little bit dissatisfied with what she got. So it's the goods you get. But I don't mean to bash on Jeff Bezos in that sense, but if you think about if his wife isn't happy, but then we also, allegedly, according to the cards from another reading, but if his wife is feeling a sort of way, so you guys remember those rumors out there after their marriage and everybody's like, what is going on? Are they seriously going to get a divorce after having this huge, big wedding not even a year ago? So where there is smoke, there is fire. So you got to question that too. On top of his company and the backlash, like I said, the funds are looking like they're slowly dwindling. Not literally, he's a billionaire. But when you are used to a certain amount and then you suddenly not getting that amount, you got to start figuring out ways to compensate. Maybe be a little penny pincher. Maybe try to find ways and make deals to make up money, to make even more and beyond. And that's exactly what I see here with Jeff Bezos. Is that Knight of Cups, always thinking about how to get to the next project. Because here is the Eight of Wands, symbolizing moving forward from this phase, this period of the justice of trying to bring everything back together. He understands that it's wavy. He understands that it's wavy right now at his company, and of course, nobody wants their business and their livelihood to go down the drain. So of course, he's going to try to find ways to fight and combat it. But also, like I said, if things aren't flowing like you're used to, you got to start maneuvering and acting different. Maybe. Yeah, maybe he could afford that wedding, but maybe he just couldn't quite afford that wedding. So because of that, we know how these days everybody so in the celebrity world are just posers and really flaunting more money than they have. So because of that, I'm just saying billionaires are guilty of it too. So that being said, how is Jeff Bezos' company doing? We have a stop, we have a journey, and we have a consistency. I don't know why I get that wrong every time. I need to find a way to write that down. But no, interestingly enough, like it's weirdly the same story I told you. We have a stop where it was like he has done enough with his company. He felt like he needed to change it up, revive it. He's done with the old model, the old way he was running. Amazon was pretty much running out, and he had to liven it up and freshen it out before Amazon was stale and played out. So because of that, he's going through this journey, still in the process of going through the journey of reviving, redoing Amazon. There was like Amazon Fresh stores that there was out there. Yes, Amazon Fresh stores where you can get grocery foods. Some of those are closing down. Other ones are opening up. So you're just like, Jeff Bezos, what are you doing? Like I tell grocery store. Yes, grocery stores. That's how much Jeff Bezos is into everything, that now you can literally get food from a grocery store at an Amazon store. Amazon Fresh, look it up. Crazy, wild, a journey, business adventures. He's trying to find everything and do everything to make Amazon stick, keep it alive, be innovative. It's the everything store. So how can I be an everything store? And then we have a consistency, which he's consistent, he's persistent, and because of that, that's always going to work out in his favor, because when you're determined and you're able to stick it out through the long run, no matter how much it looks like you should be abandoning it, but you don't, you stick through it out till the very end. You're going to see it out till you get the results that you're looking for, and that type of determination is only going to work out in your favor if it's truly meant for you, of course. And it seems like for Jeff Bezos, as that engineer, as that computer science, tech heavy guy, that tech savvy, people savvy, consumer based, that was his selling piece. And because of that, it's like he's trying to rebrand it for the new digital age. How is Jeff Bezos as a person? We have a ring, we have a dusk, and we have a truth. Well, a ring is all about commitments, so we definitely know when it comes to Jeff Bezos that he is definitely somebody that's, when he commits, has a plan, he sticks to it and sees it through. Weirdly enough, like when I said consistency, you need to be consistent in order to commit to something, but you also need determination discipline, a drive, and a passion. And those are all the things that he has as a mixture concoction all up in here. And then we see a dusk card, which is a bit more time. It seems like that's what he's asking for. What he's feeling like he needs is a bit more time before he just feels like the kinks need to get worked out before the general public can really judge him and his product, because he's kind of, I guess in the sense, he's feeling like, have I ever, guys, let you down? Even though I've consistently let you down over the last few years, but has my inventions and geniusness ever let you guys down? I guess is the way he's coming off and how he feels. Like I said, guys, got like in the sense he's feeling like. But we see here a truth is that he's learning to accept the faults, learning to be more authentic. Maybe he was a bit more hands-off, lackadaisical, and got lost in the sauce and was more about the money and less about the people and less about the company and product. And so because of that, it went downhill and it showed. So now he's trying to do some more damage control and bring it back in. So we do see that, yes, he lost the plot a lot along the way, for real, but he's trying to get back to the plot. He took a side tangent, a side story. We went through like 3-4 chapters before we finally got back to the main story that we was all waiting for. But you know what? That side journey was a journey. But now it's time to bring us back to reality, and that's exactly how Jeff Bezos is feeling. Maybe he was out there trying to find love. Maybe he was out there dating. Maybe he was too busy having weddings for him to be focusing on his company. But like I've been joking and am so serious about Jeff Bezos, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to get your company in order. So that being said, it's not like I was in here trying to bash Jeff Bezos. Like I said, it was surprisingly overall really good reading. It almost feels like the Jeff Bezos that AI said he was and what brought him popular during his peak 10 years ago is still reigning true. But within the last decade, you got to take some time to get to the bottom, then take some time to get back up to the top. So because of that, I guess we're on his up journey. I don't know. We'll only see for the future. I was quite curious. I'm glad to see that they're boycotting for a valid purpose and valid reason. But dang, that sucks to be Jeff Bezos at this very moment in time, because all eyes are really on you, brother. And you got a lot of things to fix. But it seems like he's still confident within his abilities and his product to continue to sell and continue doing its thing. So all he can really do is be the 8 of Wands and wait to see what the future unfolds before us. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was a quick reading it was a check-in for me. I was quite curious. So with that being said, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It will really mean a lot to the channel. Become a beautiful sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds all over this beautiful earth, especially during the time like this. With that being said, leave your comments down below. How do you feel about billionaires? How do you feel about the Met Gala? How do you feel about Jeff Bezos? How do you feel about what they did to boycott Jeff Bezos? It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot going on. How do you feel about Amazon? He brings a lot. Jeff Bezos is definitely a personality to deal with and handle with. And because of that, he runs his company like his personality in that sense. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Leave your comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up, hype it up, share it, and I think I said everything, but you know what I say before I go? Hype us up. Subscribe to us. Hey, I almost forgot our saying. Sunflowers. I had to pull it up because it would be remiss of me not to tell you guys the symbolic meaning of a dragonfly. And I looked it up. It is indeed a dragonfly. And dragonflies symbolize transformation, adaptability, and self-realization, driven by their life cycle of moving from water to air. Across various cultures, they represent change, prosperity, and connection to nature. That's that intuition. That's that sense. He gives me an Aquarius vibes. You know what? I just got to know. Is Jeff Bezos Aquarius? If he is, Oh, he's a Capricorn. Even better. Even better that he's a Capricorn. Capricorns and Aquarius can go neck and neck, 2 and 2, because guess what? They're both actually ruled by Saturn. So therefore, Aquariuses and Capricorns think a lot ideologically, but it just depends on how they choose to go about it. Because he's the 12th, he's a little bit towards the end of Capricorn, but he still has a whole lot more Capricorn characteristics, a more mature Capricorn characteristic. So because of that, when you're more towards the end of a cycle, an end of a zodiac sign, you're a bit more matured. But when you're a bit more matured, where do you go afterwards? So you have that kind of internal personality within inside of yourself of always feeling like you're at the end, like you always got to do something, like you got to get it right, like you got to be perfect. And because and when you're more matured, you're more wisdom and you have a lot of information, but because of that, it's like you're prepared for this next cycle and what you're doing, but it's like what comes after this. So always thinking about what comes next is always on the mind, or it can be frightful. So because of that back and forth, and I see that him being that him being the dragonfly, but also justice, which are both air in that sense. And these were the only 2 air cards, symbolizing that transformation, that growth, that adaptability, that resistance. Like I was saying beforehand, even though it seems like his business is going down the drain, he's trying to adapt it. He's trying to be resilient during this thing. He's trying to transform Amazon right before our eyes, but transformations are never pretty and they're never easy. So because of that, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. He took a chance. He took a risk. He's trusting his intuition, his almost like in that sense, divine guidance within him. He might not know he's following it, but it's just whatever that inner telling him, that inner calling tells him to do, he follows it. So because of that, as long as he keeps doing that, he's never going to lead him wrong. That was pretty much the sentiment. All right. That's all I had to say.